Kristen Jacobson.
Hey everyone, I'm Kristen, the anxiety therapist, and today I want to talk a little bit about the role of serotonin in anxiety. And serotonin is a neurotransmitter we all have in our brains, and it's often associated with feelings of well-being and happiness. So it sort of acts as this messenger in our brain that has an impact on a multitude of psychological and bodily functions. So its levels and activity in the brain are really linked to mood regulation, and imbalances in this serotonin can really significantly impact our mental health. Anxiety in particular can really be exacerbated by disruptions in serotonin signaling. And this isn't just, if you're like feeling nervous before a big event or something. It's more of a profound and can be quite debilitating experience that can really impact one's quality of life. So I want to just take a moment to kind of talk openly about medication for anxiety, depression, any mental health treatment, because I think people have a lot of opinions about it. And the way I kind of see the role of medication is I always encourage people to start with therapy, right? Because medication is absolutely helpful, but no matter whether or not you take medication, you also need to learn ways to cope with your anxiety in addition to the certain beliefs or thought processes that are contributing to that anxiety. So the medication might regulate your serotonin levels and make you feel better, but it's not actually addressing the root of the issue. So I always encourage people to start with therapy, learn some coping mechanisms, learn some lifestyle changes they can make, and really kind of become aware of certain beliefs or cognitions that they hold that are contributing to their anxiety. And if they are doing that and they're still not seeing as much improvement as they would like, that's when I tend to talk about medication with my clients, because sometimes there is a very physical component to anxiety. And, a lot of times we have these stigmas around mental health or a lot of misconceptions around mental health, and that these issues are only in our heads, or that it's a matter of willpower, or that it's weak if we can't overcome depression or anxiety or something like that. So this viewpoint is not only harmful and stigmatizing, but it really overlooks the substantial biological and genetic components of mental health. And time again has shown that genetics really play a significant role in the regulation of serotonin. And so for a lot of people, anxiety has this really deeply rooted physical aspect, and recognizing this can really, it can kind of be relieving, it can be destigmatizing, emphasizing that, it's not necessarily always a choice that someone is making to have this anxiety or to deal with this anxiety or depression or anything else, but a challenge that is really beyond their control. So I see mental health as there are some elements that are within your control, right? You need to do the work to learn how to cope, to learn how to sort of change your belief systems and make some good lifestyle changes and habits. But then there can also be this component that truly is out of your control. And especially if, your parents or other family members have had an imbalance in their own serotonin levels, you are going to be more susceptible to experiencing this yourself. There are a couple different types of medication that can really be a valuable tool and help to sort of balance out those serotonin levels. One is selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. These are commonly known as SSRIs. And then these are going to include like Zoloft, Prozac, Lexapro, Paxil, things like that. And then you have your serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. These are SNRIs, and these are going to include medications like Effexor or Cymbalta, which you may have heard of. So these are going to be your daily medications. You take them on a daily basis. They just kind of bring you back to baseline. A lot of people are scared that medication is going to change their personality. If it does that, you are on the wrong medication. It should not change your personality. It should really just make you feel a bit more balanced and even keel. And obviously they come with risks of certain side effects. People respond differently to medications. So that is something that you need to kind of weigh those risk factors for yourself. And then we have the medications that are taken on sort of an as needed basis. This is going to be your Xanax, your Ativan, things that you might take if you feel like you're about to have a panic attack. They are more addictive, and so we really want to be careful with these medications, and they're not really intended to be taken every day. So that's another option, but they can sort of help in times of crisis, so to speak, or help to augment some other medications. And then some people take beta blockers, which is actually for regulating blood pressure. So the beta blockers are meant for people who have more physical symptoms of anxiety. So for example, if somebody has, when they feel anxious, their heart rate goes up, and then this leads to more anxiety and leads them to thinking that they're having a panic attack or they're dying, that's when the beta blockers really help to regulate that. So those are just a few different types of medications. But as I mentioned, medication is just one piece of the puzzle. So while it can really provide relief for some people, it's definitely not a universal solution. And the decision to use medication is really deeply personal and should be made in consultation with a healthcare professional. And so we want to make sure we're taking into account somebody's individual needs, circumstances, potential side effects, things like that. So in managing anxiety, we really want to take a holistic approach. So we want to look at medication when appropriate, but we really want to also focus on therapy, lifestyle changes, self-care practices, things, in conjunction. All of this can really be effective. And techniques such as cognitive behavioral therapy, which I do a lot of with my clients, mindfulness practices, stress management, things like that can really provide this nice comprehensive strategy for dealing with anxiety. So I just wanted to put this information out there because I think a lot of people have some misconceptions about medication or strong opinions, and there's not a right or wrong. It's just whatever makes sense for you and what you're experiencing at that point in your life. And some people will go on medication for a little while and then they don't need to take it again. Other people are on medication for their entire lives. There's no one size fits all when it comes to mental health treatment. So I would love to hear your experiences or if you have any questions. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to sign up for my newsletter. The link is in the captions or the bio. All right, take care.